everybody, it is Kathy, and I love to be selling. Come on in, sellers, and let's talk. Get settled. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know that you can hear me. Just comment below. Tell me how your weather is. A little chilly here in New York City, and if you don't know me, I'm in New York. I'm going to say, gosh, probably like mid-high 40s and a little rainy, but okay. A pretty nice day. But I'm certainly ready for warmer weather. I don't know about you, but come on in, because I am so excited. I am going to talk about 10, 10, 10 different ways to source inventory. How are you, Sharon? Good to see you. So not just one or two, 10. So absolutely, there'll be something in here for everybody. Hey, Pam, hot in Tucson. I bet it is. Good to see you. Hey, Katie, how are you? So everybody come on in and settle in. And while you're settling in, I'll introduce myself for anybody who doesn't know me. I'm Kathy Terrell, and I'm a top rated seller on eBay. I'm selling on eBay for well over 15 years. I started very small, like a lot of my seller friends, just selling odds and ends from around my home. I needed to be home to take care of my mom because she was ill at the time. I was a live product presenter on the QVC shopping channel, which, if you don't know, is in Westchester, Pennsylvania. So I commuted for that. But mom was quite ill, and I was finding with commuting and everything, it was just too much. And I needed to let go of QVC and be home to take care of mom. And then while I was taking care of my mother, I just started decluttering. I really had no intention of really anything with eBay. My focus was really on my mom. And what I found was, one, it was great to be decluttering because I live in a Manhattan apartment with my husband. And it was good to get rid of some things and things that I knew that had value and that I knew was worth something. And I started selling on eBay, and it was the perfect fit. And I caught the eBay bug. And if you're currently selling on eBay, even if you've only gotten one sale, and if you've just gotten your first sale, congratulations, right? But I don't know about you, and I've been selling for years. I never lose that eBay bug. And if you're selling on eBay, you know what I'm talking about. I have the app on my phone. And if you have the app on your phone, it goes cha-ching when you get a sale. And everybody in my household knows what the cha-ching is. And I still love it. I love it. I love it. I love selling on eBay. So when my mom passed, I scaled my business. I've got over 25 years of brick and mortar experience, retail. So what I found was blending all that experience that I had with my QVC experience of product presenting, describing products that people don't touch, was invaluable for eBay. And my eBay skyrocketed. I am trained as an eBay education specialist. I coach eBay sales and social media, and I work with sellers of all sizes. So I work with sellers that are very small and just starting out. In fact, I was helping a seller today who's actually a brick and mortar seller here in New York City, who very much needs sales. If you don't know, with so many businesses in lockdown, very much needs online sales for the health of their business. So I was glad to pitch in and help with that. Two huge sellers. I work with some very large multi-million dollar Amazon sellers that are selling on eBay, managing their accounts. So I've worked in home and garden. I've worked with health and beauty. I've worked in clothing. I've worked in motorcycle parts, automotive parts. And it is absolutely fascinating to see eBay work in so many different categories. What my specialty is eBay search. I love helping sellers take their items and then list them in a way that you are going to get the best, best, best search results possible. Because what that does is more shoppers can find you, right? You can have great products, but if a shopper can't find you, it's like, why is this thing not selling? And oftentimes it's your listing. So I help you with that. And then social media also, in addition to that, because social media can really help your items get found in search. But let me just say, hey, Shami. Hey, Vicky, how are you? Good to see everybody. Marcia from New Jersey. Good to see you, Marcia. So this is what I wanted to share is sometimes when you listen to people, they YouTube or blogs or whatever, they really only have one or two ways to source inventory. It may be something that works for them, or maybe something that just works in their area. And for me living in New York, for instance, if I'm living to somebody who's in a very, let's say, rural area, or who's in an area with a lot of malls, and that's the way they source, that's not going to work for me because I have a very different situation. And oftentimes in my Facebook groups that I run for sellers, I'll see that frustration, because what's happening is the seller is trying to source in a way that they're not able to where they live, because where they live, where this other seller is sourcing, it just isn't available. Let's say a seller is talking about savers, and that seller just doesn't have any savers near them, or they're talking about a great clearance at Walmart and they don't have any Walmarts near them. So that's why I came up with this idea of giving you 10 ways to source inventory. What I've always encouraged my clients that I work with is grow where you're planted. It's one of my favorite things. Grow, I say it to myself, grow where you're planted. Everywhere that we live, this is the thing I love about eBay, is that no matter where you live, there are places to source inventory. But what's happening is you may not have thought of it because you're listening to somebody who, let's say, always sources as savers, and you just don't have one near you. So you're like, oh, I just can't be a success on eBay because there's not a savers near me. Or I just can't be a success on eBay because there's not a Goodwill bin near me. And that's just not true. Okay. So not true is you can absolutely be highly successful no matter where you live. What you have to discover is what inventory sourcing works for you. And then my bonus tip is once you find, because I've run into this, once you find an inventory source, so let's say you have one or two stores that are just great for you. I mean, it's just like the best inventory. Or let's say you do a lot of yard sales and there's one neighborhood that's just the best. It has the best yard sales. And then 6 months later, or a year later, or 2 years later, it will dramatically change. And there's a lot of different reasons that can happen. So what I want to encourage you, now listen, if you're new, we're going to help you to find one or two ways to get inventory. For my more experienced sellers, okay, and I know a lot of you are that are with me, and if you're listening to audio, I know you're probably very experienced, is no matter how you are sourcing inventory, and this is true even for my multi-million-dollar clients, always, 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 always be looking for other sources. And I know our bandwidth, we only have so much time, but you got to always keep an eye out, because truthfully, I mean, if anything, we learned many things from the COVID pandemic that we're all living through right now, is have a backup, have other plans, be constantly having your thinking cap on. If you only have, for instance, let's say you do wholesale, if you only have two wholesalers, always be looking for a third one. Always keep an eye out for other sources of inventory. Even if you just write it down and don't actually use it, just write it down. Have that in a file so that if and when you need it, you've got it. I have pivoted so many times, and all my seller friends that we've been selling for a while, I think we can all raise our hand on this one, is that you got to always have an eye out for another source of inventory, another source of inventory, another store. And that's why I'm going to give you 10. So get your pens and paper out, or however you want to do this. You can use a nice app on your phone. So number one, and this is particularly true when you're new, but even those of us that have been selling for a while, it's a very good reminder, is your own stuff. Clean out your closet. Get your kids to clean out their stuff, okay? And when you're doing this, don't forget all the parts of your home or your apartment. So not just clothing and shoes and jewelry, but don't forget sporting goods. Don't forget, again, with COVID, don't forget games, puzzles. And listen, go dig around in your kitchen. There's a huge surge going on right now in kitchen appliances, kitchen goods, kitchen everything. So don't neglect your kitchen. And do not neglect over-the-counter drugstore items, something like denture cream, but always check the expiration dates. Makeup, but it needs to never have been used. You can sell used perfume, but not used makeup. And just pop it open. You can tell if there's like a brush stroke on it. But look at your own things, okay? All over your house, tools, everything. And for my brand new sellers, I really encourage you is do not go buy any inventory. nothing until you absolutely know that you love, love, love eBay selling like the rest of us. Just gather up your goodies from your home. And on my YouTube account, I have a YouTube, watch this before you sell, which will teach you how to research prices. So sell your own stuff, but don't neglect any part of your home. Remotes. I've sold TV remotes when I got a new TV because the remote was still good. I mean, don't neglect your home. Uh, Next thing, and again, I realize I'm going to date this. This is May 11th, 2020. Yard sales, thrift stores. Okay. And I know you hear a lot about that. And the other thing with yard sales and thrift stores, again, in your neighborhood, if you're only used to going to one or two, again, as you get more experience, always try a new one. And this is one thing I've learned. Actually, this is from my friend Peggy and other friends. When you're traveling, which again, I know with COVID, a lot of, like, I'm in New York City, we're under a lot of restraints, not a lot of traveling right now. But when I get traveling again, so let's say I go visit my sister in Boston, is we typically go thrifting when I'm up there. So when you're traveling, don't forget wonderful thrift and consignment stores. And I know many people on their routes when they're driving, they will map out their route and they will shop and thrift all along the way. So don't forget that when you're traveling or going into a neighborhood. This is for me in New York City, but also for you traveling around your cities, your towns. When you go into a new neighborhood, see, is there a really cool thrift store, a consignment store here? And go check it out. Okay. So yard sales, thrift stores. Third, friends and family. Friends and family are moving. Friends and family are decluttering. Let them give you their stuff, right? It's like, give me your stuff and you can sell it. Either just have them give it to you outright. If you want to do consignment, think it through. And what I recommend on consignment is 50-50 split because you're doing all the work, you're photographing. I don't do consignment. I do it for my sister. She's very easy to sell for. But otherwise, it has to be a direct gift, which is they want to declutter, give it to me. I will come and pick it up. I will take it out of your house. That way you don't have to deal with it. Give it to me. So friends and family, they just give it to you. This could also be office workers. Okay. They're going, oh, I've got all this stuff and I just don't know what to do. Good. Give it to me. Just take it. And then you're going to sort it and you're going to find out what's worth selling, what isn't worth selling. Okay. Fourth way, we're up to 4. And I'm moving through these pretty fast because I'm giving you 10 estate sales. Now, for me here in New York, we don't have estate sales. So this is one, doesn't work for me. But a lot of areas have great estate sales. I've got one girlfriend in Kansas, and she does great at estate sales. So definitely check that out if they're in your area. Fifth, retail stores. And don't fluff these off going, oh, their prices are so high, Macy's, Nordstrom. And I was going to say one thing, sadly, with the COVID pandemic is as stores are opening, they will have an enormous amount of inventory that they've got to move because realize they didn't get to really do their end of winter, early spring sales stuff. So really look for some really good, serious markdowns in retail. And even if when you're not coming off something like the COVID pandemic, anytime I go into a retail store, anytime, like if I'm in a mall or I'm going by the store, is to pop in, always hear the clearance racks, always see what's on sale. If there's a coupon, so there's a coupon and it's on sale, you can get some killer deals. And because the prices in thrift stores are going up, oftentimes in a retail store, it's cheaper than the thrift store. Macy's clearance will be cheaper than my thrift store. So don't fluff off your retail stores. And also don't fluff off different kinds of retail stores. Again, this is about always be trying new things. Okay. We have our stores that we know, but I want to try new things. It could be like an LL Bean kind of store, a Bass Pro Shop, more of an outdoorsy store. I actually found a great thing on clearance of all things in a drugstore. And I also found a great thing on clearance in a makeup store. And it wasn't like a Sephora. I'm trying to think what it was. It was like a Halloween makeup store. And for some reason, they had these really great high-end children's products. Why? I have no idea. And it's probably why they were on clearance, because who would think this high-end Halloween store would have children's? It was like baby care stuff, but it was very, very high end stuff. I got it for pennies and made really good money. So again, never, outdoors, Bass Pro Shop, drugstores. Again, if you're going by, pop in, hit the clearance racks, coupons. Always say, is there a coupon? Is there a sale? Is there a special sale day? If you're a senior, is there a senior? Are you a veteran? Is there a veteran discount? Okay. The grads, our poor grads this year, so many of them are graduating, via Zoom. Is there a graduate? You've got your high school senior with you, right? But it's saying is there a senior discount? Is there a senior discount day if you're a senior, if you're a veteran? But always ask, is there coupons? Is there a sale day? And if you find a store that's really, really good for you, get chummy with the salespeople. That's a bonus tip on that. So don't blow retail stores off. I know here in New York, oftentimes my retail stores on sale are much cheaper than my thrift stores because the thrift stores have gotten so high in New York. Auction houses. This is another one. Not everybody has auction houses. If you have an auction house, check it out. What kind of auctions do they do? Oftentimes, they'll do box auctions. Okay, so get there early enough that you can poke around and see what's going on. And don't forget, with auctions, they're online too. They're not just physical auction houses, that you might have in your neighborhood, or you might have an auction house in your area. There's a lot of really good online auction houses. So Google that if that's something that you enjoy doing. Particularly if you're a vintage seller, get busy with that kind of stuff. It can be a great way to source. Number 7, we're up to 7. Online sites. So just like Macy's, just like Nordstrom, just like Walmart. Okay, first of all those companies have online sites. But also don't forget eBay. Don't forget Poshmark. Don't forget Macari. Okay, there's wholesale lots. I've bought in lots several times on eBay, and I know other sellers that have done the same thing. And it'll say lot or a lot or wholesale lot with a bunch of things. I used to do it with VHS all the time, but you'll see it with shoes, clothes, brand names. Go and look. If you get good in an area, let's say I get really good at women's bathing suits, or I'm really good at shoes, go and search and see if anybody's selling a wholesale lot. What'll happen sometimes is a seller will have an overabundance of inventory and they want the cash. So they're selling off part of their inventory. The other thing is sometimes sellers, it's a change in their life and they're walking away from their eBay business because something else has come up. They're going into full-time employment or they're retiring, and they'll put massive amounts of great product on eBay. So check wholesale lots, search by brand name, search by types. Great stuff. That's number 7. Number 8, flea markets. And these they have in New York. These vary a lot. I find some flea markets are absolutely fabulous, and some are like, they're more expensive, than Macy's and Nordstrom. So check it out. The big outdoors ones tend to be the best, but check out your area. And again, if you're traveling, you might be going into an area that has a great outdoor flea market. And especially because we will be going into a period where we're going to need to be doing some social distancing, something like an outdoor flea market is perfect for that. So check out outdoor flea markets. That's number 8. Number 9, Facebook Marketplace. And Facebook Marketplace has been exploding lately. I've been hearing a lot of people are sourcing on Facebook Marketplace. So it will be a local pickup. I know some people with Facebook Marketplace do ship, so you can look for that. So again, you're going to log into Facebook, you're going to go into Marketplace, and you can search that way. It is more of a local thing, but again, some sellers do ship. And I've heard some people getting killer deals because again, people just want to get rid of it. It's like, I just want to get rid of this. And they put it on Facebook Marketplace. And my last one, the idea for you, is make it yourself. A lot more handcrafts. Now, Etsy's always been the land of handcrafts, okay? But I'm seeing a lot more handcraft and artisan items on eBay. And besides building something from scratch, don't forget you can take something and add an embellishment. So, for instance, I might have an adorable little girl's dress that I'm selling that I got in a wholesale lot, or perhaps I got it on clearance at Macy's. And then I do a handcraft, I make a beautiful hair bow to go with it. So I'm actually like creating a bundle, or I might do a bunch of the bows. But don't forget, if you're somebody who loves to do crafts, I mean, lately we've had the cotton masks that people have made that are legal to sell on eBay. As long as you make no health claims, you've got to make it very, very clear it's a homemade mask. But there's a lot of ability if you are, again, if you love to sew, if you love to craft, to create things from scratch and sell those on eBay. Or again, you can add an embellishment. You might have a really nice picture frame and you can add some things or paint a little bit and make it prettier. So those are my 10 10 ways to source items. And again, not everything is going to be for everybody. We all live in different areas and we all have different lifestyles. And what I find is find what works for you. Again, some sellers are very adamant, like, you have to do this and you have to do that. I don't do that. I'm like, find what works for you and do it. And then know too, you could go through a season in your life where things change. And then while you have one or two or three ways to source inventory, always be thinking again, go, oh, there's that store on the other side of town. I've never gone into that store. I really want to go into that store. And this is what I do is next time I have an errand, I'll write that down. Okay, I want to go to that store down, in that neighborhood. So next time I have an errand in that area, I'm going to go see a friend, or there's a museum I want to go see over there, or I'm picking up a friend from the train station and it's near the train station. I go in advance an hour or two so that I can go to that store, to that mall, to that flea market and do it while I'm doing that other errand. I try and do it that way so it's more time saving for me. Okay.